Hello, I'm William Allen, back at it again today with the cast iron camp cooking instructional. Today I'm here to tell you about my cast iron, some of the tools that I use, and why I enjoy cooking with cast iron. So my first piece of cast iron is this right here. It is a Cabela's 14-inch, it's heavy, 14-inch Dutch oven. It's not deep, it's a regular Dutch oven. You can go and get it off the shelf. I chose Cabela's. Well, this is when Bass Pro Shops bought out Cabela's, so I thought, why not get a Cabela's one? Maybe the brand might eventually disappear and this would become a collector's item, but this is my most used and favorite piece of cast iron. I think it's good to have two Dutch ovens. I have a Cabela's 12-inch also, and this one's been used many times. If you're going to have one Dutch oven, I recommend a 14, but a 12 isn't bad either, and they have 12 deep and 12 shallow. This is a shallow one. They have Dutch ovens for inside the house too. This one is a Lodge 10 3/4 inch. It's a 5-quart Dutch oven, and allow me to show you. Just like the outdoor Dutch ovens, you can use this indoor lid as a skillet for cooking whatever you want to. You can actually use this Lodge skillet outdoors. I like to keep it in the house, and I use the legged Cabela's Dutch ovens for cooking over the fire outside. This is one of my favorite but least used pieces of cast iron. It is a Lodge combo cooker, and the reason it's called a combo cooker, it's a deep skillet, and it can be used as a Dutch oven. And I'll split the pieces up here for you guys to see. But here's your deep skillet, and here's your shallow skillet. This is just a regular skillet. There are many like it, but this one is mine. I actually went to the Lodge store in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's also one in Sevierville, Tennessee, and there's one wherever the original Lodge foundry is. I don't have that information just yet. This one I got with a coupon for $4.99. It's a factory second. There's a few little grind marks where somebody had taken a little bit too much metal off. What I did to the inside of it is I took sandpaper and smoothed out the inside of it, started with a coarser grit and moved to a finer grit. And I put oil on it and threw it in the oven to season it. And I will tell you guys more about the seasoning process here momentarily. This is my most recent pan that I've acquired. It is a Lodge cast iron grill pan. And the grill pan, I've cooked plenty of hamburgers, hot dogs. I prefer sausage dogs, but I actually used this last night. So cooked us some sausage in it, and it turned out good. I like using this grill pan when I don't want to go outside, heat up the charcoal and grill on charcoal. I'll just put this on the electric stove, let it do its thing. So the next section that I'd like to cover are my tools and implements that I use when I cook with cast iron. The first and cheapest things that I acquired was wooden implements. This spatula and spoon, these are from Walmart. Don't tell anybody, but these are Pioneer Woman. There's nothing wrong with it. It's olive wood, it's nice. You don't want to use metal implements on your cast iron. It'll scratch them, it'll mess your seasoning up. Unless you're careful, don't do it, but just don't do it at all. That's what I recommend. The next thing that I got is a set of these Dutch oven gloves. Welding gloves will work just as good too For handling hot Dutch ovens, either outside or in the house, these just come in really handy. These are Lodge brand. And I just really like them. You can use oven mitts if you want to, but I really recommend these. It's worth the money. If you don't want to pay the price for Lodge ones, because these were gifted to me, go to Harbor Freight and get you a $5 pair of welding gloves. The next piece of kit is really self-explanatory, and you guys will see me wearing this throughout these videos here. Never trust a skinny chef. My uncle gifted me this apron. It's really nice to have an apron, especially if you're cooking outside and maybe you're wanting to keep your clothes nice. I use this over the grill this summer. I'd wear my fishing shirts to the lake and grill out with everybody. It's just nice to have an apron. Cleaning your cast iron is a big deal. Really, and this will go back into when I talk more about the seasoning, but I like a good scraper and a good scrubbing brush. And this helps make cast iron cleaning easier. You really don't want to use a soap like Dawn here that we have. It'll mess up your seasoning. It's tough on grease, and seasoning is oil. It is grease, so you don't want to use this. I've used it before and had my seasonings go down to bare iron, and it's just a pain to have to re-season your pan, especially when you don't have to. So a good scraper and a good brush. These are both Lodge branded, just because it was what I was gifted last Christmas. Also, with skillets, iron distributes heat really well. That's an interesting fact. So you want to have, when you're cooking on the stove or over a fire with your skillet, you want to have some pot holders, well, handle holders, excuse me. This one's silicone. It was gifted to me. And this one I bought at the Lodge store in Sevierville, Tennessee. It's cloth. Honestly, this silicone one does a better job for me. This, the heat gets through. It's kind of thin, but I like the camo pattern on it. And so that's why I got it. So for my next implement, this deals mostly with outdoor cooking. This is my lid lifter. And I will demonstrate to you how to use it. Can you turn the camera down, sweetheart? Just so you guys know, my fiance is filming for me. So this here is my lid lifter. This is Camp Chef branded. And when you cook over the fire with coals, if you have coals on the top of your Dutch oven lid, you don't want to touch it. So to take the lid off, you set it here, and there's a little lever here, and it'll pull this handle up, and you have the ability to lift your lid, to look down and to stir whatever you need to do with your food. My next piece of kit is trivets. You use a trivet, or at least I do, when cooking over fire. It gives you a little more ability to control the heat that's underneath your Dutch oven. It puts it higher off the coals, so you have more even heat distribution. This is the first one. I had purchased this. It's a Lodge branded lid lifter trivet combo, and it works good. I like that it folds up. Really simple design. I use this more in the house though, to keep my hot iron off of the countertop than I do outside, but I have used this outside. We had a bit of an error with our last take, so now I'm going to get to tell you about the trivet that my father made me. So I had went to Tractor Supply and picked up 3 Diamond brand double-aught size Bronco horseshoes. My father welded them together. He put bolts here on the bottom. That way we can change out the different bolts here to these nuts that he welded on here. And you can change out these bolts to different sizes to have varying heights. As you can see back here, we have some taller ones and a little bit shorter ones. My next piece of kit that I will be telling you guys about is this meat trivet. It's got little protrusions on the bottom, 3 of them, to keep your food off the bottom of your cast iron Dutch oven. If you're cooking a roast or roasting a whole chicken, this prevents it from burning to the bottom, gives it a little space for the heat to distribute underneath it. So this is one that I've used quite a few times. I love roasting a whole chicken, and my family loves when I roast a whole chicken. Before I had this, though, you don't have to have it, but before I had this, I would layer onions cut into discs underneath my chicken, and it'd cook down, and it would add flavor to it. But it's nice to have this and not always have to add onions if you don't want them. So now I would like to talk to you guys about seasoning your cast iron. Seasoning is fairly simple, but people they oftentimes worry about it, especially new purchasers. And once you get into it, you'll understand it's not that hard of a process. So this one I seasoned from Bare Metal, and it's a simple process. All you have to do, you want to use a good oil. Try not to use things like vegetable oil if you can. If not, it works just fine. I use this on the outside because it's cheaper. But what I use, if I'm putting my pan in the oven, I'll use this avocado oil. It's a really good oil. Some people like grapeseed oil. Some people like olive oil. Whatever oil you have at home, you can use. You put in a skillet, this is a 10 1/4 skillet. Just put about a quarter size in there, rub it around. Some people use paper towels. Some people don't. They use a lintless cloth. I use a paper towel, but it doesn't bother me. Throw it in the oven at 350, and you can leave it in there for 2.5 to 3 hours, and repeat the process 2 or 3 times from bare iron. And you'll have a beautiful black pan. One thing I do recommend, cook beef, cook sausage, fry you some potatoes. Using oil in your new cast iron is really good for it. Now, when you get your iron good and seasoned, you can wipe it out when you're done with it and everything. You're fine with it. This is one thing that I have found, especially when you don't know when you're going to use your Dutch oven or your skillet next. Use mineral oil. It's in the pharmacy aisle. It is a laxative, so it will make you use the bathroom the next time you cook with it. But this mineral oil does not spoil. It does not go bad, if you will. Versus if you use olive oil, vegetable oil, avocado oil, whatever kind of oil you use in a Dutch oven, if you let it sit for a few months, it would spoil, it would rot in there, and you'd have to clean it out and season it again, and it's just a whole mess. So this is really one thing. I've only heard one other person mention this, but mineral oil in your cast iron pan, in your cast iron Dutch oven, it really does make a nice difference. If you're going to store it with mineral oil. The last thing that I wanted to cover for this introductory video for you guys, this first video in this series, I wanted to tell you guys why a young man like myself enjoys cast iron cooking. The main reason I enjoy it is because it's entertaining. We have a fire pit out back I'll invite some friends over, me and my fiance, maybe my brother and his girlfriend, my dad and I, whoever wants to come out there. It gives me an excuse to cook outside. I'll cook with the coals, the actual hot coals from the fire. It's just really entertaining. You get to sit outside. I usually cook at night, but for the sake of these videos, I'll be cooking in the afternoons. But you sit outside, you have your campfire, you know it's nice, and then you go out there and let's say you cook a bowl of chili. You get to sit out there and enjoy your chili with your friends, and it's just really a neat experience. All right, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope this video has been informative for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to follow the project, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if there's anything you want to see or anything you think, any opinion about any of the things that I've said. Just let me know down below in the comments, and thank you guys again very much. Hope you enjoyed it.